All right. Good morning, everybody. Early morning crypto talk. Bitcoin Brandon here from Los Angeles, California. Thank you for joining us today. It is Tuesday, a little over a week away from Christmas. Type in the chat box where you're listening in from. We have Court Gomes, Mafoose from Laurel, Maryland, Bethany Gibbs, Seattle, Eric White, Shayna from Richmond, Lorna Vasquez, Tracy Kubish from Mississippi, Tony Pinkston, Elijah Morgan, Hercules, California, Sharita Hill from Nashville, Nafula from North Charlotte, Ray Steen, Diana Townsend from Delaware, Mr. Stewart, New York City, Barbara Brown. I got a phone call with you right after this live this morning. Rich King, good morning, good morning. I had technical difficulty last night, and I was doing a gang of three-way calls, so I missed late night crypto talk last night. So I'm going to cover this morning what I was going to cover last night. And any major news from today, we'll save it for later on tonight. As a disclaimer, I'm not a licensed financial advisor to be dispensing financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share a suggestion, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move into. There's 4 rules I live by in the crypto space to have success. Rule number 1, education is key. Education is everything. Rule number 2, never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Rule number 3, always get your return on investment back as fast as possible. And rule number 4, where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? What are you willing to do to make it happen? Find a vehicle like KGX as we go into 2019. Make a decision. Take action. Don't just sit there. Take action. Remain focused and don't get distracted. See, here's the one thing that's easy for everybody. It's easy to get excited about something in the beginning, but when things aren't either going your way or it's going a little slow, and then your mind and your eyes start to wander elsewhere. The people that triumph, the people that have major success are the ones that are able to push through when things are quiet, when things are slow. Did you know Amazon at one point lost 95% of all of its value, was declared dead and gone, and now boasts the richest man in the world? Stay focused. Don't get distracted. Now, this is not going to guarantee you success, but it will at least minimize your risk. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the most that we can ask for. All right, so let's go ahead and get things kicked off and started here. You should be able to see my screen. Let's look at the markets, and I'm going to show a little bit of trading from yesterday, because yesterday was a pretty good day. I actually forced myself to pay attention a little bit, and I did. But let's see what the markets look saying. $114 billion market cap. That's up $3 billion from yesterday. Bitcoin dominance is back to 54.1%, which meant a lot of that new money came back into Bitcoin. It was at 53.8% yesterday morning, 24 hours ago. Let's see, Bitcoin is at $3,500 a coin, 2.9% growth from 24 hours ago. Ripple is still having a strong growth at 9%. Ethereum 3, EOS is having a major run for the last 48 hours, actually. Is up 10%. Stellar 3.8%. I'm still surprised. Well, Bitcoin Cash had a rebound. They're back up over $103. 15%. That was a big boom. Let's see. Later on, I'm going to start trading in these other coins and not just Bitcoin. You don't have to trade just Bitcoin. You could trade, you see some things spiking in these other coins. Trade in them. For example, well, I'll show that in a second. Like if you were to sell your Bitcoin and before you buy back into Bitcoin, why not buy into one of these other coins that's having a swing? That's gonna be part of my strategy in the future. Bitcoin, it might take a while before it comes up to make a profit, but you can quickly make a profit in one of these other ones. All right. Bitcoin SV is up a little bit. Waves is up 27%. What's the top 24? The top in the last 24 hours. Hello, Marty from Victoria, Texas, and Shauna from Charlotte, Latifa from Delaware, Shane West from Chicago, Brad Gibson. Okay, Waves is up 27%. Mobile Gold 20%. Monocoin, Dogecoin 18%. Bitcoin Cash 15%. EOS 10%. Ripple 9%. So this is a steady, healthy growth. I don't know why it's still showing Bitcoin is at 54.1% dominance. What about the worst performers? DEX, MOAC, Mithril, anything major? No. So the market is pretty basic attention. Well, the market's pretty strong. Bitcoin might flat a little bit. Let's look at more detail. Last price of Bitcoin, 35.37. I actually claimed success yesterday. I did 3.8% on my money on 2 trades yesterday. Total 3.8%. Now, that ain't a lot of money so I'm only trading with 400 plus something bucks. And I'm practicing because I'm practicing a new strategy. And somebody made a comment on my YouTube yesterday where I was saying that I have a goal of averaging about 2%. And the comment was you shouldn't be focusing on trying to get a certain percent every day, but more on the quality of your trades, because some days you might have 0% and other days you have 8%. And my response is, yeah, I know. That's why I said the average is 2%. I understand that. My angle is executing just a few micro trades a day that can equal up to 2%, not just that I got to hit that mark. Some of my trades can go 10 or 15%. Some trades you may sit on for more than 24 hours and only get 0.2%. So that wasn't my point. My point is just looking at the long-term averages here. Because if I did 3.8% yesterday, what if I did that averaged every day for a month and I was doing $10,000? Well, let's say $10,000 trading with times 0.38%. That's $380 a day. Multiply that times 30 days in a month. That's $11,400 a month. Micro trading. Now, I actually could have made more profit yesterday because when I did my sales, I noticed that the price still went up another at least 30 or 40 cents. I'm sorry, $30 or $40. I could have made more money. That's not my point. My point is not to sit in front of my screen all day long and watching these charts. It's to be able to read the chart, notice a trend, place a sell or a buy, and walk away. And then it executes. And what I'm practicing now is following the whales. I'm actually following this bot. I recognize that there's a bot at work here. And I wonder if this is a bot that's even controlled by people behind Poloniex themselves. It's a form of internal manipulation. I don't know. I can't prove that. I'm just watching how it does automatic adjustments, and it never changes from 50 BTC, no matter what the price is, and it shifts itself, buy orders and sell orders. So I know it's a bot because it's happening too quickly, and it's automatic. It's like a clockwork, but I don't know who's controlling it. Anyways, if you are the old Brandon, when I first started to trade, I wasn't looking at this so much. I was looking at just primarily this and following my own trends and putting in my own numbers. But I want it to be more on an automated type stand. Another reason why I'm doing it as well is because we are about to launch our own crypto trading desk, aka the bot. And I want to be able to understand why it does what it does and when it does what it does, because it's going to teach me even more. So I'm going to have I'll be involved within the bot, and I will also have my own thing going simultaneously. So 10,000 in the bot, 10,000 in my own thing, doing it myself. So I can compare, because I want it to teach me so I can learn more. So later on, as time goes by, I don't have to be relying on anything. So you see the goal there. Some of you made more money than I did. Some of you might have made 15, 20, 30% on your money, and that's absolutely fantastic. I just executed a sale right now. I've got my sell order in at 35.43. Last price right now is 35.23. 24-hour high is 35.90. Why did I do a sell at 35.43? Well, because I did a buy at 35.14. You see here, I sold at 35.70, made a profit. I bought back in at 35.14. So I actually had more Bitcoin at this buy-in than when I sold. And I'm going to sell it again at 35.43. But if you look at that 35.70 sell, I bought in at 35.25, sold at 35.70. Look at my trade before that. I bought in at 34.40, sold at 3,500. See the range? That's $60 range there. 35.25 to 35.70. That's another $50, $55, $45 range there. Bought in at 315, selling at 35.43. I might increase that. Where I got that number from is I followed the bot here. The bot's increased it to 35.55. Mine's at 35.43. I want to increase that too. I want a little bit more. I'm going to cancel that order. I'm going to place it again at 35.55. All of it, sell. And then I'll just sit there and let it happen. Now, it might happen within an hour. It might happen within 4 or 5 hours from now. Who knows? I'm going to go on with my day. Now, because I am curious and watching this, I'm going to periodically keep an eye on it, because I might make another adjustment. If I see the sucker really going sky high, I'll cancel that and move it higher. Let's see if I can get 5-6% today. But that just depends on the market. Really, if I had bought lower, the 24-hour low was 34.26. Imagine that difference. That's a $100 swing there. That's a good profit there. So, and I'm getting myself into habits. Since I do 2 crypto talks a day, I'm at least operating on here twice a day, because I'm showing it when I do my lives. Instead of just, throughout the day, I got to remind myself, hey, Brandon, go back, look at the chart. What's going on there? All right, so I hope you guys learned something from that. Did any of you guys make any money yesterday on your trade? Type it in the chat box. Let me know what you did. I'm doing mine live. I'm showing you how I do it, and I find this very interesting. The buy wall and the sell wall. The buy wall is extremely high. I've seen some people say that they expect Bitcoin to drop back down into the 1,000 range, but this buy wall is huge compared to the sell wall, which means it could have a good breakout, at least around this mark, 48.90 mark, getting closer back to the 5,000 range. So we'll see. That's why I want to keep an eye on it, because when it starts to run, it can happen within 1 hour. It can go up a couple $100 in 1 hour. We've seen that before. We've seen it drop $1,000 in 15 minutes. All right, let's go on with some news. Bears seize the stock markets while cryptos add $9 billion. Now, that was yesterday. So this is all yesterday's news. The stock market took a major hit. Awesome, if you made $15, but how much? What percentage? I'm more interested in about of the percentage than the actual amount. So, how much percentage did you make, rather than the dollar amount? Anderson says, quick question. There's still almost 1/3 of our population who don't have access to internet. What do you think about cryptos like Mcoin? I don't know Mcoin, so I can't answer that question about Mcoin. Not familiar with it. Someone said to me the other day, they asked me a similar question. It was like, how do you not know about this? I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, you're doing cryptos all the time. So that just shows you how big this industry is. I do not call myself the one-all, be-all oracle of crypto. It is too big to know everything. I don't. There's a lot I still have to learn. That's why I do 2 cryptos talks a day. You know that old saying that about the people that learn something, when you start to learn something, you realize how much you don't know. So the more I learn, the more I realize what I don't know. That's why I do 2 crypto talks a day. And even then, I'm realizing there's a huge amount I don't know about. I want to learn. So bears seize the stock markets while cryptos add $9 billion. After ongoing stock market volatility blamed on technology stocks, interest rate hikes, and trade disputes, the bears are calling a possible crash. Meanwhile, as money flows out of the conventional markets, cryptocurrencies are green and gaining. Cryptocurrency market cap is now up over $9 billion. What? Cryptocurrency market cap? What do you mean over $9 billion? What chart are they looking at? Of course it's over. It's over $110 billion. I don't know. I think that might have been an error. For the stock markets, the Dow has fallen 508 points and 2.1%. The S&P 500 is also down 2.1% and at its lowest point this year. All right, stop right there. Stop right there. When Bitcoin reached its lowest point of the year, critics said that it's game over. But why aren't those same critics saying that the U.S. economy is game over because the S&P is at its lowest point all year? And the NASDAQ, though up slightly today, is down across 2018. So it's not just crypto that's been in a bear market. The entire world, I saw a report this morning, the world was $181 trillion in debt. The world? My first question is, who do we owe that money to? Who in the world is going to become $181 trillion richer if everybody paid their debts? Who's that? Wait, what is this? Teenage crypto millionaire Eric Steinman says Bitcoin is pretty much dead, offers hope for Bitcoin Cash. See, here's another one of these clowns that made money because Bitcoin ran up, or they bought early on and holding it, but don't know what it actually is. I'm going to, if we have time, I might read that one this morning. I'm going to save that for later. All right, for the stock markets, yeah, I read that part. This time, healthcare products rather than technology stocks might be the blame for the Dow's fall. Johnson & Johnson stocks fell dramatically over reports of asbestos in the iconic brand's baby powder. United Health stocks also fell after part of the Obamacare Affordable Care Act was ruled unconstitutional. Goldman Sachs is in the spotlight too after being accused by the Malaysian government of misleading investors over bond sales underwritten by the Wall Street giant. Wow, that sure looks like a whole bunch of fraud going on. The overriding reasons for the fall are also still much broader and do still point back to the threat of interest rate hikes by the U.S. Federal Reserve this week, as well as trade and diplomacy issues with China striking again. One relentless bear, former Congressman Ron Paul, is warning of an epic market collapse. And he's right. It's like, you're driving down the street and that warning light in your vehicle comes on saying, engine needs maintenance. The U.S. economy has been running with that warning light now for 20 years. At some point, you got to get it in. He says a downturn could be worse than 1929. How many of you were alive in 1929? How many of you were alive during the roaring 20s? See, after World War I, the U.S. economy took all of that equipment and manufacturing and warehousing that they used to build up for World War I into the economy. And that's why it was called the Roaring 20s. Massive growth, no regulation whatsoever. That only can last so long. My grandmother was born she's 95 right now. So she was born in 1920, I think 1924 or something. And she remembers from Shreveport, Louisiana. She remembers those days. And you know what? I asked her about that. And one thing she said, well, she was young and black in Louisiana in the 1930s. So when this hit, they survived really because they didn't have nothing to begin with anyway. So they were used to it. They fared better than those in the parts of town that they didn't allow African Americans to go to. They fared better than them because those individuals were not used to this type of a struggle. Which leads me to right now. Nobody was alive during that time right now. If we have an economic market collapse worse than 1929, how many of you are prepared for what life will be like after that? See, my grandmother and her family, they had their own gardens. They grew their own food. They had their own barter system. They had their own small community. Because of necessity, they weren't allowed to open up businesses and shops and do stuff. They had to survive. Are you ready to do that now? Are you ready for what life will be like now? When I was getting my master's degree in teaching education, my dissertation was on the Dust Bowl, life in America during the Great Depression, leading up to the New Deal. I know that era very, very well and what life was like for Americans. Americans today are nowhere near ready for this. This is why we have to prepare right now. And you know how soon this is coming? They're talking about at earliest 2020. You've got 1 year left. He says, once this volatility shows that we're not going to resume the bull market, then people are going to rush for the exits. Indeed, it appears today stock market investors are doing just that. Maybe they are buying elsewhere. An American Association of Individual Investors survey puts bullish market sentiments at their lowest since mid-2016. Yet ever bullish FundStrat's Tom Lee believes the bearish sentiments indicate the market is ready for buyers. We believe sentiment has reached an extreme bearish level that historically is a major contrarian buy signal. After writing that in his note to clients earlier today, it seems investors are buying, but not stocks. Money is flowing back into cryptocurrencies. I would say a trickle. At the time of writing, the overall market cap is at 113.9 billion and still rising. BTC is still up over 8% and has broken the 3,500 threshold. Ripple is up 14%. EOS now a massive 26%. So that was yesterday at 113 billion. Now it says it's at 114 billion. So it is still riding slowly. I wouldn't, when you see like a 50 billion hit the market, then yeah. So I don't think, they ran from the stock market and jumped into crypto. That didn't take place. So that's not a correlation to be made yet. So I don't agree with that article that they ran to crypto. That didn't happen. All right, let's look at another one here. I'm coming back to that one. Investors carried out mental gymnastics to justify Bitcoin prices, Bloomberg editor-in-chief. Hold on. This is December 17th. This is 2 days old. All right. See, they're looking at people. That's what I like. I don't like looking at just the numbers. I want to look at the psychology of people. So what's he talking about here? Bloomberg co-founder and former editor-in-chief. I would agree that I would just say this dude's probably a critic. He supports the current system. Matt Winkler has likened speculation-driven Bitcoin price movements to the dot-com boom of the mid to late 1990s, comparing the excuses given by investors for irrational market optimism at that time to the reasons given by modern-day cryptocurrency speculators. This might be true. Let's continue here. Speaking to Emily Chang on Bloomberg Technology, Winkler explained that cryptocurrency investors have attempted to use non-traditional methods to ascertain and justify optimistic valuations for digital assets, which according to him is actually nothing new. Okay. Referring to a valuation metric used in the dot-com boom called cash earnings, essentially an estimate of future revenues and profits for companies that sometimes did not even have a finished product. Winkler revealed that use of flawed arithmetic to arrive at a desired outcome is in no way new or unique to the crypto market. Yes, that's correct. Just look at the sports world. Look at football and basketball. When NFL and the NBA is on draft day and they're looking at who they want to sign on draft day, and they have the Columbines, and they have the pre-NBA drafts and the workout sessions. And they are recruiting based on future speculation, where they think this kid may end up. How fast can he run the 40? How high can he jump? Does he have future potential? And they are willing to bet millions on a kid. And sometimes you run into a Kobe Bryant, a LeBron James, a Michael Jordan. Other times you might run into an Andrew Bynum, what's that big kid's name from Portland? I'm looking right at his face. Came out and busted. Immediately. Even if I go back to my UCLA 90s, Ed O'Bannon. Ed O'Bannon was like the man in college basketball. The man. Couldn't cut it at all in the NBA. Christian Laettner. Yeah, so. Christian Laettner was the man at Duke, the man in the NCAA for years. There you go. Thank you, Shane. Greg Oden. Oh, huge bust. Huge. They bet millions on that kid. The next Hakeem Olajuwon, blah, blah, blah. Next Shaq. Christian Laettner even was on the dream team. That's how dominant he was in college basketball. Remember the last second shot in the NCAA tournament by Christian Laettner? Remember Thomas Hill, Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway? I mean, those guys. You had a lot of people that had great upside potential, but didn't live up to that ultimately in the professional sports. So he's right on that aspect. It's nothing new to crypto. But where's he going with this? In his words, so with regard to cash earnings and Bitcoin, there is a comparison that I think is valid, which is that where people can't find standard ways to measure value, otherwise known as intrinsic worth, they do all kinds of mental gymnastics to do that, really. Bitcoin is a really good example of how everybody tried so hard to justify what it was doing. When the closer they looked, they couldn't find it. Even Warren Buffett said it's a joke. Oh, so you're going to quote Warren Buffett. So we've been in this picture before, and I think the dot-com bubble that burst in 200 is a good example. Okay, stop. First of all, his entire argument is a falsity. The moment you start saying everybody, mental gymnastics, Warren Buffett, I got to break you down with some facts. Warren Buffett has hundreds of millions of dollars already invested in the FinCEN sector, an area he said he would never get into. Why? Because he knows and believes that cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology is the future. Even he can't deny it. He's not going to tell you that publicly. Never listen to what they say, follow what they do. Bill Gates, his best friend, is using the Melinda Gates Foundation to invest billions into IBM, Ripple, and crypto projects disguised as we're just promoting the blockchain because we want to be able to help those poor people in Africa get access to a bank. Really? That's your goal? I don't believe it. But I do believe you know that this is here to stay and you're investing billions into it to get yourself in position. All kind of mental gymnastics. Again, if you're going to point to the dot-com bubble, then also highlight the fact that one of those companies has produced the richest man in the world. So I actually thank you for giving that, using that example, because that just lets me know, oh, we are here at the beginning. It's like, how would you like to be involved in investing in things with the internet in the 90s before the internet became what it is today? That's where we're at. Asked whether Bitcoin will recover unlike most dot-com stocks 2 decades ago, Winkler stated that while he is not clairvoyant, it is possible to reasonably predict future price movements by looking at the fundamentals and arriving at a roughly scientific picture of how much value it provides versus demand, and thus how much it should be valued at in the marketplace. That's only partially correct. According to Winkler, the current state of volatility in the crypto market is a sign of noise, which means that the market is having difficulty finding the signal that indicates exactly how the asset should be valued. Partly true. The situation, he said, is going to persist and even intensify in the immediate future as the noise gets louder with increased cryptocurrency market activity taking place alongside regulatory ambiguity and a measure of existential doubt over the future of the asset class. Partly true, mostly true. Winkler rounded up his interview by pitching his intent with the blah, here we go. This is why I know he's full of it. He believes in this 100%. What he does not like is decentralization. That's what he doesn't like. He blockchain over Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a result of the blockchain. They love the technology as long as it can be controlled. That's why he's against Bitcoin. Stating that the utility of the blockchain as a tool that people can use in itself a definite and identifiable intrinsic value. Yes. This point of view is one that is shared by a number of prominent market voices. Earlier in December, CNN reported that Morgan Creek CEO Anthony Pompliano stated that the use of the world's most secure transaction settlement layer means that it cannot be worth zero. That's true. Bitcoin can never be worth zero. If Bitcoin dropped below 1,000, hell, I'll sell my car to buy as much Bitcoin as I possibly could. Don't quote me on that. I'm not selling my Bitcoin mobile. I'm just making a point. This ain't going anywhere. His issue is that they can't control it. That's his issue. All right, let's go to the next article here. Importance of crypto and political censorship. Political censorship. Interesting. I'm going to like this one. Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson. Whether you're a fan of the things Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson have to say, or you're vehemently opposed to these two gentlemen, the fact of the matter is that both offer polarizing opinions. Not for the first time, Harris finds himself in the middle of a controversy over censorship. Most recently involves his account deletion from the popular crowdfunding site Patreon. I don't know his case. I haven't heard of this. Similarly, Peterson raises concerns that his message is too far to the right. His views and publications inevitably bring controversy. It's easy to say that the opinions of Jordan Peterson are not to everyone's taste. Agree or disagree with their opinions, but the reality is that internet censorship is a significant problem. I agree with that. What we currently have is a centralized stand. You know what this is going to do, though? If they continue to try to do internet censorship, it's going to push blockchain version of the internet much, much bigger. Imagine a blockchain version of Facebook. That there is no Mark Zuckerberg at the end of the day cashing checks from everybody advertising on his site and controlling stuff. Imagine a Facebook that's completely 100% free and ad free. I mean, to an extent, you can't have just ultimate anarchy out there. But imagine that. Companies monitor, record, and control the flow of information and often restrict information or opinions that might be viewed as controversial. Internet and political censorship are increasing throughout the world. Instead of expanding on our individual freedoms, governments are using social media and other outlets as a way to survey and monitor the population. That's why it's essential to promote personal freedom. The blockchain and cryptocurrencies can help us do so. Centralized media has no reason to offer views with which it doesn't agree. Large companies enforce their own views based on what they ban and what they allow. Would a decentralized platform be resistant to censorship? There are many within the world of cryptocurrency who believe so. One such occurred earlier this year when the blockchain helped circumvent censorship in China. Since transactions on the network itself are immutable, messages contained within are tamper-proof. Using the blockchain for content means it is immune to censorship, trustless, and nearly unhackable. Cryptocurrencies and blockchains allow for publishing content without a centralized authority. No single point controls what is and is not published. This means that a blockchain will not have any political agendas or special interests which might skew content or restrict it completely. There are several blockchain projects focusing on anti-censorship and methods to circumvent restrictions. For example, Zapple is a decentralized site which offers microblogging services, similar to what Twitter offers. There are also Privatix, which provides a peer-to-peer blockchain network VPN. This helps its users to get around firewalls. A few others include Substratum, which has the highly ambitious goal of completely decentralizing the internet, along with Decentralized News Network. DNN plans to offer a completely decentralized news platform, which will make use of the blockchain to verify content and avoid censorship. Its tokens would incentivize writers and editors. The more solutions we have available to promote our individual freedoms, the better. Of course, there are characters that exist who we view as loathsome and vile. We would prefer they not kept their thoughts to themselves. But the question isn't whether or not you agree with their thoughts, opinions, and content. That's true. It's, do they have the right to share it? The real question is whether or not you want companies and corporations, including those individuals who run them, to have the power to decide what you and the rest of the world see and hear. I, for one, don't believe they should, and I agree. I do not agree with internet censorship. Don't agree with it. All right, we have some time, so I will cover this article. Teenage crypto millionaire. All right, I should be back. You know what? Next time I am going to call in on my crypto phone and I'm going to test it that way. Wait, Brent, what are you talking about, Brandon? Yeah, that's right. I am testing MCS out right now. I got the SIM card. I got a brand new phone that I have it attached to, and so far it has worked and performed better than my main phone. The speed is faster, upload and download. And I'm not talking about connected to Wi-Fi. And what I didn't think it wasn't supposed to happen in January, it's happening now. What the phone does, it is finding the fastest speed network and attaches itself to it. And so far, I have never had any dropped calls with it. I haven't had any issues with internet when I'm away from Wi-Fi. I'm in test mode. I'm testing it the rest of this month, and I'll probably be speaking on it in January. Right now, the goal is we're trying to get this service into KGX. and we're having a difficult time with this particular company. And I am doing my best to convince them to allow us to be the distributor. And I said in 2019, one way or another, I'm going to be talking about and selling these doggone SIM and blockchain phones. So some of it will be through KGX. Others I'll probably be just doing direct through myself. But it's something I am very passionate and excited about. But I'm just tripping off the fact that I don't have a cell phone bill for like the next 6 years. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. So next time I do my crypto talk, I'm going to call in using that phone and see if I ever have any issues with it dropping or anything. I need to start using it a bit more. All right, so let's get back to this article. So I assume by making a dumbass statement like he made, that this is a person that was in the right place at the right time. Bitcoin went up and he made a whole lot of money. Doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of education on it. But we're about to find out. So he's saying, Finman has a habit of bashing digital assets. In 2017, he told Mike that he wasn't convinced about Ethereum, urging investors to go short on the digital asset. Wait. This is his tweet. Icons like me will always be hated because we are the immortals. Just wait till what's next. Go sit your little... Don't say nothing, Brandon. Where's his parents at? If my son put something like that out there, I'd be on him so fast. The teenager got into cryptocurrency back in 2011. Okay, let me back up now. He's been here since almost the beginning. 13-year-old, bought cryptocurrency with money. Oh, it's this same dude? I know this guy. Bought cryptocurrency with money given to him by his grandmother. As of this year, the teenager was worth up to $4 million. However, he is now giving a pretty dark outlook for the future of Bitcoin and Litecoin, warning prospective investors that they will be wrong to put all their eggs in a basket. That part I do agree. The whole point is build your crypto portfolio, not build your Bitcoin. And by crypto portfolio, that includes many things, not just buying coins, buying assets like mining rigs, investing in different companies that's in the blockchain. There's many different ways to build your crypto portfolio. By learning how to trade, you can make a fortune trading regardless of what the price of Bitcoin is. All that matters is not the price, but the volatility. Finman also expressed pessimism about Litecoin, which has taken a 95% tumble from its peak, saying that it is currently on its way out. Litecoin has been dead for a while, he said. It's like when the sun is going down and there's that 8-minute period just before it goes dark. Litecoin is in its 7th minute. This is the kid right here. Godly? Really? Pride cometh before the hard fall. I just predict he's going to have a very hard fall, one way or another. I predict. And I'm just basing that off of experience. He's a kid. He hasn't gone through much life just yet. And he's got millions. It's coming. Strangely enough, the teenager is actually of the belief that Zcash and Bitcoin Cash are both better investments than the original cryptocurrency. He said that Bitcoin Cash has a stable technology, stating that the only problem it has is poor marketing, considering the August hard fork and the other circumstances that led to its creation. Over the past days, Bitcoin hit a one-year low of $3,126, amid reports from analysts that it could even fall below the $3,000 line before the end of the year. However, it has now increased to $3,552. The asset has dropped over 80% of its value since last December, when it hit an all-time high of $19,783. It's ironic that Finman could be so pessimistic about the survival chances of a cryptocurrency that has brought him so much wealth, but he is not alone in his view. Stephen Innes, head of trading for the Asia Pacific at U.S. commodity exchange Onada, predicted that this bear market would trigger a massive sell-off that will see the value of the asset plunge as low as 2,500. I agree with that. And as told the network at the time, there's still a lot of people in this game. If Bitcoin collapses, if we start to see a run down toward 3,000, this thing is going to be a monster. People will be running for exits. Yeah, but you're going to have a whole bunch of people that have a whole lot more money that's going to be gobbling it up. They're going to be buying it up like crazy. Because as far as I'm concerned, we are turning back the hands of time. I got into crypto in 2016 when it was less than $700 a coin. But it quickly shot up. I didn't have the resources at the time to stock up on a whole bunch of coins when it was cheap. Now, knowing what I know and it being cheap, that's all I'm going to say on that. So let's take a quick look at the charts again before I close out, see if anything's changed since I've been speaking for the past hour. Nothing's changed in the market cap and BTC dominance. What about the daily, the minute to minute? Last price is 35.14, 1.94% change. Maybe I should have held off on placing that buy order or actually selling. But I got my sell order at 35.55. I bought it at 35.14. And right now it's at 35.21. So it's still higher. I could sell it right now and make a profit 2%, 0.3%, if that. But I want it to go up, make almost a 2% jump up. So I'll be watching this. It looks to be squeezing, but the bottom Bollinger Bar is still tilted downward just a tad. And the candlesticks are below the middle bar. And we're seeing nothing but negative volume here. So this might take a couple of hours if it starts to rise again. It's going in the opposite direction. To the last 15 minutes. Now it's gone up a bit. Last 15 minutes. 15, 30, 45. So it's catching up to what happened 45 minutes ago. 24 hours wise, it's still in a squeeze. I need a 5-minute chart. That's 24 hours. Bam, boom, 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 boom. This is what I talk about where people are making money. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. This is where the money's being made, not the price of Bitcoin. These changes. Oh, and I did share an example. When I put this sell order in, I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to actually do it. I'm going to just look at it. When this sell order goes through, I'm going to make a profit. Okay. Then I'm going to look at the charts over here. And I'm going to see if there's anything that is on the negative side that's about to have a bounce back up. And I'm going to buy it up. And then when it bounces back up, like let's say a Dodge coin, if I got that when it was only at up plus 2% and it was going all the way up 13% change, and then sell, and I can come back into Bitcoin. So that's another strategy, because right now I'm only trading within Bitcoin's ecosphere. But what about Ripple? You know, what about Qtum or NXT? If you start to do this strategy, bouncing it off of what the other coins are doing, always make sure you look at the volume, that there's enough volume there that can clear your order, or you will be sitting on it for a long time because there's not enough volume in there to complete your order. Bitcoin obviously has the most. That's why I stick with Bitcoin, because the buy and sell happens almost instantly when you reach your mark. What did I? Oh, I saw Ripple, 7,000 ripples. I thought I was in Bitcoin for a second. This dude's got 262,000 ripples up for 88,000 USD. A sell order for. Hey, can I spot any bots in the Ripple? Let's see, there was 68,000, 50,000, 86,000. There's a lot of money being bought and sold here in the Ripple game, the Ripple markets. What about Bitcoin Cash? That seems to be having a run up. What, USDT is not paired to Bitcoin Cash on Poloniex? Really? I have not looked at this. Where's BCH? Why are they holding off on that? Oh, they froze it. Interesting. Because of the war that's going on within it. Very interesting. What about Ethereum? Ethereum seems to be doing some things. So let's look at Ethereum. Up 3%, 94. Another thing, I need to get my eyes used to these numbers. See, Bitcoin, I know these numbers just by glance. I know the history. But when I look at Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash, I'm not familiar. Just, it's like looking at Greek again. I got to train my brain. I know that, I know this easily. So 24-hour high, $96, $94 was the last price, 91 was the lowest, 24 hours. So I'd have to study this more to really, but let's see if I see any bots here. See any significant money being done. 100,000. They got 10,000 there. 1,087 Ethereum tokens. 40,000. 17,000. What about on the buy orders? 101,000. Is that a bot? 1087. 1087. I've located a bot here. I wonder if it's the same bot that's operating in Bitcoin. So we've got about $100,000 worth of coins in a bot over here that's playing. So if I was going to play in Ethereum, I will follow the same thing that it's doing here. The percentages are just, they're low. So you have to do a lot of different small micro trades to make good profits in there. But it's much easier to hit marks quicker because you can bet very easily. All right. Anyways, you guys have a great day. Hopefully by tonight, I would have been able to execute at least 2 trades within Bitcoin, but it all depends on if Bitcoin can rally back up to that 35, 55 mark. I sell it for a profit, and then I'll buy in if it comes back down, see how low it goes, and I'll play the game. Anyways, you guys have a great day. See you all next time. Barbara, I'm calling you right now. God bless. Bye-bye.